Yo, it's your boy DJ Gary, and we back with another video. I was just saying, um, or I was just thinking, Rick James really revolutionized Motown. He really changed up uh, the assembly line type of mentality to from the assembly line material mentality that Motown had back in the '60s and early '70s. He came in. The interesting is like a lot of people who just see Rick James as Rick James, but people kind of forget Rick James was at Motown in the '60s. He was with you know, uh, the Minor Birds, and but also he wrote, uh, produced, and he just wasn't out as a solo artist as yet. But I believe he he really revolutionized the industry uh, once he came back uh, to Motown as an artist. Uh, you know, his first album was really uh, a breakthrough success because Motown had never really had anything like that under their belt. Uh, nobody wasn't really writing songs about, uh, marijuana or anything of that nature. It was more so on the grounds of um, love and what have you. Norman Whitfield had did that kind of thing, kind of touched on that type of thing. As a writer at Motown in the beginning, with also Sly Stone and that type of thing. But the thing with Rick James, see, Rick James was in that era, so he's seen, and he probably interacted with Norman Whitfield and all that, as a writer when he was writing at Motown. So when he comes back, he's like, "Hey, this is my record." You know what I'm saying? I don't need anybody uh, overseeing it or anything like that. Rick James was a student. He studied what George Clinton was doing, what Bootsy was doing, and he knew right then and there. He listened to that stuff, and Bootsy's first album. You listen to Bootsy, not Bootsy's first album, but Bootsy's second album. All the name was Bootsy, and then you listen to Rick James, "Come Get It." It's parallel a bit, right? It's very uh it's almost like "Come Get It" is like the sister of All the Names Bootsy album. You know what I'm saying? And so Rick James studied all this, and he became his own artist and really revolutionized everything. You know, my favorite songs from "Come Get It" album is really that first one, Stone City Band, Dream Maker, and Come Get It. That's like my favorite tracks on there on that first album. Uh, yeah, Hollywood. Yeah, I love that. Um, but Rick James was really a different kind of cat in the game. You know, he came with that Buffalo, New York arrogance, and that real, I don't give a, whatever you say, I'm gonna be Rick James. And being the genius he was, he produced Tina Marie album and helped write that, and he also, produced the Mary Jane Girls. He wrote, um, their records and produced their records. I wish they would go in the vault and release Rick's demo to uh, his his demos to those songs in my house. That was I heard that demo on the documentary. But let's talk about Street Songs. Street Songs is another album that's it has the hits, but beyond that, it's more flair. You know what I'm saying? And you know, Rick music was really a different type of special vibe. He putting all types of instrumentation, and which Rick had like special instrumentations. His music. We had Roy Ayers playing vibes on his albums, and you know, you know, Rick has some real catchy tunes. Um, when it came to arrangements and all that, like Rick was really ahead of his time. And before Bobby Brown, like let's just talk about the bad boy esque type thing. Rick James was the first guy. You know, he revolutionary, that Aquarius energy. That type of thing. But saying all that, I really would like to see a biopic, a movie of Rick James. I think it's time for people to get together and get a Rick James biopic going. Because there's so much history. People just talk about the hits, and people talk about, you know, stuff like that. But with Rick James, it was more than that. It was way more than that. Um, I mean, who you think will play Rick James in a biopic? Do you think there should be a Rick James biopic? I feel like a Rick James biopic movie should be done. I think it's time because it's it's really it's been a while since he died. Uh, and I I think it should be a movie. Like either BET doing. I don't want TV One doing. TV One did enough with that Bobby DeBarge story. That was just a little too. That was a little too rough. But I would love to see really a uh, maybe BET do it, or HBO or Showtime. You know, since Showtime and Mass Appeal, which is Nas' company, they did the documentary. Oh, that was a good documentary. I really liked it, and but a movie would be even better. I think that would cement a lot of stuff. You know, Rick James, underrated singer. You know, nobody really lists him as a singer uh, that was really like amongst singers like in a top 10 or whatever. Because, you know, that voice alone, like when he does the ballads and he really could change it up, you know, I think people should talk more about his voice, his vocal texture, and you know, not just the catchy hooks he did, not just the stuff like that, but it was much more than that. Um, you know, uh, what more can I say about Rick James? What more can I really say? I just wanted to say that. Like this video, comment, subscribe, and let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Share this video. That would be great. Thank you.